All right, welcome back. We continue live right here on Pittsburgh's CW. Bob Pompeani, Ron Cook, and an 80-game suspension for Robinson Cano today out of nowhere. He says he took something prescribed to him by a Dominican Republic doctor, and it was to help him in a medical situation. He had no idea it was a banned substance. We've heard that excuse before, but you're responsible for what you put in your body, so he's out for 80 games. And more importantly, Ron, this is a team that right now is 7 games over 500. If they do get to the playoffs, Robinson Cano will not be eligible. That's a big loss.
He's got like about a $200 million contract, too, doesn't he? I mean, that's going to cost a lot of money for him. Yeah, these guys, I don't have a lot of sympathy for them. You do got to be responsible for what you put in your body, and they usually, they're pretty careful about this. They have doctors they can trust. I don't know what the doctor in the Dominican, their situation is, but it's kind of it's a shame. I hate to see it happen to anybody, but hard to have sympathy.
Yeah, and as far as the Pirates are concerned, in addition to winning a game, they lost a couple of players to injury. Starling Marte went with some sort of upper body injury. I'll use a hockey term, but it was right side discomfort, and Francisco Cervelli got hit right on the right forearm, and he was in a lot of pain, stayed in, ran, and then he left the game. So those are kinds of injuries you don't like to see, and Cervelli takes a beating back there. And I'm interested to, please, if you call and say Cervelli's injury prone, please don't do it, because the guy takes a beating, and this was one of those things that if he misses time, he's earned that time missed. Let's go to Jerry in West Elizabeth. What's up, Jerry? How you doing?
Hey, Bob, Ron. I've got a question that some friends of mine have been talking about. You think if they could get DeMarco Murray cheap, it'd be worth bringing him in for, plant the foot and go on short yardage, and you could always have him in the game and Bell out wide. He might, bringing him into an organization like the Steelers, you might get some out of him for a year or two,
whether or not that's true or not, and you might be right, that's not my focus. I still think they need defensive help now, especially since they didn't draft a lot of it, and I think they're going to have to look for ways to maybe find someone who's released, a veteran, after, OTAs or mini, or whenever contracts are up. Some of these bonuses come up in June and July, Ron, but I wouldn't be looking to add anything other than defense at this point.
Yeah, I think they're okay. Le'Veon Bell's going to be on the field almost the whole time. You have James Conner coming back from injury. They like what Ridley did for him last season. He's around again. I think they're okay at running back. Now you're going to have to find a star next year, because we know that Le'Veon will be gone after this year, but ride him till the wheels fall off, as they say.
Yeah, that's what they should do. Let's go to Tony in the Hill District. Tony, you're on the air. How are you?
Hello, Bob. How are you?
All right. Thank you.
I would like to know what you guys think about. Do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be able to beat the Patriots this year, and what must they do to beat the Patriots?
Well, home field and get there is one thing. But that's so far down the road, because they'll play them again in the regular season. It's like a duplicate of what happened last year, Ron. But that's such a long way to go, and who knows what.
Just had rookie orientation camp and worried about beating the Patriots already. Hey, they're the favorite to win again, and the Steelers, just like last year. Patriots are the favorite to come out of the AFC. The Steelers are the second choice to come out of the AFC, just like last year.
And I realize it's early, but if I asked you right now your order of finish in the AFC North, knowing what you know now, what would your order of finish be?
Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland. I think Cleveland's going to win 4 or 5 games this year. They're not going to go 0-16. Steelers should win. The division stinks.
It does.
And now Baltimore has a quarterback issue, right? Flacco, has he responded to Lamar Jackson yet? Everybody wound up by saying he didn't understand why they drafted a quarterback. Apparently, Baltimore drafts Lamar Jackson in the first round, and as of late last week, Jackson had reached out to Flacco, not returned any of his calls.
Yeah, Flacco's upset. A little bit of a different situation, because I think they want him out at some point. I don't think that's obviously the case here with Ben. Roethlisberger has taken a lot of national stuff. Did you hear Fox and what Chris Carter said about him?
No.
Oh, you should go and listen to it, because he just totally ripped him apart based on his crybaby mentality and everything else. But, this is what happens when it gets out there. But you're right, Joe Flacco right now is really not doing himself any favors in Baltimore. Judy in Finleyville. What's up, Judy? How you doing?
Hey, Bob, Ron, how you guys doing?
Good.
Good, thanks.
Good. Hey, I just have kind of like a theory on the Pirates and why we're doing so well. Sometimes when you have a star on the team, they get all the attention and the other guys don't feel, or the other, rest of the team don't feel like they have any what do I want to say, gumption to, perform. So now that our so-called star, McCutchen, is gone to San Francisco, all of the guys are come together as a team, and they're doing their best to become.
And I think it's a very tight group because of that. That's a good point you bring up. Yeah, they're all just pulling for one another and doing what they have to do to make it a better team atmosphere, and I think it showed so far. Again, I am not going to dismiss, and thank you for the call, the lack of competition in terms of, they're playing bad teams, and I don't think you can overlook that when you look at what they've done.
But all you can do is beat the teams.
I agree, but I'm saying,
playing. Look at the Dodgers, what they're doing. Their record is worse than San Diego, which is, I think they're I want to say 16-26, I believe.
16-24.
16-24.
They do have a ton of injuries.
They got beat tonight too. So I know Kershaw's out, but I'll tell you, what's their payroll? Like the third highest now. It has been number one. I think Boston passed them up this year.
Yeah, if the Pirate pitching could be, consistent, and they're hitting, although I think the hitting has got to cool off at some point. Some of these OPS numbers they're the only team in the National League run that have 5 guys with at least 20 runs batted in. Only 3 teams in the entire majors have that situation. They're one of them. And their outfield has the best OPS numbers of any outfield in the National League. So I would imagine that will tail off a little
So
bit.
Marte doesn't have one of those dreaded obliques, right? Isn't that can put you on the disabled list?
It can. Travis in Homewood. Hey, Travis, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Bob?
Good, thanks.
That's good. Hey, over the weekend, I know over the weekend that people were glad to see McCutchen back, and but they traded him for another team, didn't they?
The San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is your point?
I think he's a pretty good player.
Yeah, he's been a pretty good player. I don't know.
He got his 1,500 hit last night, which is a.
Corey Dickerson has done a great job. For the Pirates. I mean, I love watching that kid. I thought it was a great trade when they made it.
Well, Tampa didn't want him. It starts there, and they didn't
give up Daniel Hudson to get him.
No, I know it's $6 million for $6 million. It cost them nothing, and they got a guy they needed, and he's been terrific, no doubt.
Now he did this last year in Tampa and made the All-Star team, and then fell off the face of the earth in the second half. He's got to prove it he can do it for the whole year.
But I think you have to give Neil Huntington a lot of credit.
I give for that trade a ton of
that.
When he made it, I gave him a ton of credit for that.
Yeah, I did too. I like that one. And as far as now, I don't like the fact that they gave up on Garrett Cole, but so far Colin Moran shows me he can be an adequate third baseman and certainly somebody who can contribute in this. I think if you look at Michael Feliz, he's going to be their 8th inning guy, as it turns out, and we haven't seen Joe Musgrove yet. So at some point, we'll see. So, by the way, down on the farm in Altoona, Mitch Keller, 7 shutout innings, and they got some good young pitchers. Nick Kingham's going to be up here on Saturday to make his scheduled start after he pitched last night in Altoona. But if guys like that could come up and just be what they expect them to be.
What you hope them to be. I mean,
changes everything.
I don't know if Glasnow will ever be. Maybe Glasnow won't, but if a couple of these other guys come through, you're in great shape.
Yep. All right, we'll do for a break. George and Altoona, speaking of Altoona, will be coming up next along with Jerry and Hempfield right here live on Pittsburgh CW.